a 2.8 trillion parameter AI that rivals the best models in the world, built by a team that couldn't even buy the best chips to train it. So, how did they pull it off? Kimi K3 comes from Moonshot AI, 2.8 trillion parameters, a 1 million token memory, and the full weights go public on July 27th, free for anyone to download. Here's the whole idea in one line. They couldn't buy bigger engines, so they built a model that simply needs less. 4 clever tricks make this giant travel light. First, sparsity. Only a sliver runs at once. Second, precision and 4-bit weights to shrink memory. Third, a compiler they built themselves. Fourth, attention math that keeps memory flat. And finally, serving it cheaply. Trick 1. Sparsity. A giant model, but almost none of it runs. Picture 896 specialists. For any given word, the model wakes just 16 of them, it's under 2%, and the rest stay dark. That's why a giant can still be cheap to run. And it's a different 16 for every word it reads. So even though the model is enormous, you only ever pay to run a tiny slice of it at a time. Trick 2. Precision. Store every number in far less space. Normally, each weight uses 16 bits. Moonshot trained K3 in just 4 bits from the start, so the model learns to work in shorthand without losing its meaning. The payoff is memory. At full precision, the weights would need around 5.6 terabytes. At 4-bit, roughly 1.4. That's about 4 times smaller. And yes, that's an estimate. Trick 3. They built their own compiler for the chips they could get. The standard GPU compiler is tuned for top-tier cards, so they wrote their own, MiniTriton, and tuned it for the L20, the cut-down chip China is allowed to buy. Trick 4. New attention math that keeps memory from exploding. Normally, longer text burns more memory. It climbs fast. Kimi Delta Attention flattens that curve, so K3 holds 1 million tokens without blowing up. Their claim? Up to 6 times faster at that length. And finally, serving it to millions without the bill exploding. To serve everyone cheaply, K3 splits the work. One pool reads your prompt, another writes the reply. And it reuses past work so often that 9 in 10 requests hit a cache. One honest note. This isn't a model trained on toasters. They also used stronger GPUs where they could. And it still trails the very best on some benchmarks. The engineering is the story, not magic. So here's the takeaway. Clever design let a small hardware team reach the frontier. Proof that architecture can beat brute force. The open weights land July 27th. If this made the how click, subscribe. I break down one AI system like this every week, and tell me which trick surprised you most in the comments.